Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be chatting to you all about branding photography, but basically why you should have branding photography done. If you've never had it done before, it's so important and it's something that I think every business should have. So this should be relatable to anybody who's got a business, but especially somebody who works as a wedding photographer or a wedding vendor or a wedding videographer. These are really important. And Luke, why do you think they are so important?
Well, the first thing that popped in my head is you kind of have to
practice what you preach.
If you have a website, I mean, you have an About Us page and there's got to be a photo of you there somewhere. Same with like Instagram or whatever. So it's just the basics at this point.
It's the basics, but not everybody gets the basics, right? Like how many people would you say have like a really nice professional photo of them on their website?
I think most people that I looked at had a photo of them. Now, how old is that photo? Who knows? It could have been like you're at Algonquin in the photography program and you just like, there was a headshot section where you just had one taken and it's been years since and you haven't updated anything. And I think that's what we're going to get into is making it a habit of getting either photos done of yourself or videos as well, right? Like the video part, we're not probably going to talk about it too much here, but I think it's important to have something, in your About Us or just so that you can show who you are. Because people don't really hire you based on, they could on your work, but a lot of people fall in love with who you are as a person, your values, your vision, and kind of what you stand for.
And people will pay a premium for that, right?
Right.
I think that's literally what I was thinking about because we just had our brand photos done today. So this is very typical or topical, I should say.
Typical, topical.
Same. But we had brand photos done today and I was trying to think, okay, what do I want people to think when they see a photo of me?
What did you come up with?
Well, do they think like that I have like attention to detail because like I'm wearing like coordinated outfit or like nice jewelry, or did I do my makeup and my hair nice? Like, does the outfits like look luxurious or does it look like I just, picked it up at the Old Navy, right? Like that's kind of, it could have been from Old Navy, nobody would know, but the idea is that does it give off like a luxury feel?
But that's only because we're going for a luxury vibe, right? And if you're going for like, what is it, Joshua Huggett? Like he's very, very different than us, right? He's full of tattoos and he like swears and that's just his brand and what he does, but we're obviously a little bit different. But yeah, like we were, like jackets today, or I don't even know what to call it, like suit jackets, I guess. And like, I don't wear suit jackets on the everyday, but it's going to look good though. I'm excited to see the photos that we took today.
But I think we did a mix. So like you wore
That's
a suit
true.
jacket, but you had a t-shirt on, right? So it wasn't just like, okay,
It's like
you had like
cash.
yeah. So it was like a little bit of an elevated casual. And I think again, when people look at you, they want to get a sense that you are able to relate to them and understand them in a certain way, right? Like, I know we used to laugh, but like when we first bought our house, and we used to have a lot of client meetings here where clients would come and meet us for the first time at our home.
In this room, exactly.
Yeah. And we used to, do our meetings here. And like, obviously they get to come to our home and we've really like put a lot of effort into decorating and landscaping our place and things like that. So I feel like it gives a really good first impression. And of course I see all the things that are wrong with it, but they don't, right? They just see like a beautiful home that's well taken care of. The grass is nice, the flowers are nice, like the driveway, like all those things, right?
And then they imagine themselves like, if I was that lawn, I would be well taken care of.
Exactly. It's just that attention to detail, those little things that people pick up on. I think that is all kind of part of your brand messaging. And it's so important to kind of connect those dots. And I think early on in my career and your career, we kind of struggle to figure out like what is our brand?
Yeah.
Like what is it, the message that we're trying to portray? And you can do that through images. You can do that through, you know, what you're showing to people, right? So what are you showing them on a day-to-day basis on your socials, and what are you showing them on your website? Like, what's the best representation of you? And that's really what your website should be, right? So for us, we have a lot of photos of us on there, and we have a lot of photos of our kids, and we're always updating that. I would say at least once a year we get our photos taken professionally by like another photographer.
Yeah. And most of the time it's family sessions, and we try to squeeze in a little bit of me and you in there. But I was glad today that we actually just did like just me
us.
and you.
Yeah.
Because even though it was like 15-minute session, I feel like we got a lot done in that amount of time, and we could really focus on just like what we were going to wear and the poses we were going to do. And it wasn't just like an afterthought like it usually is.
What do you mean? I usually put a lot of effort into like my hair and makeup.
But it's
and
different.
all that
Like I'm
stuff
not like if I go for a family photo shoot, like I'm not going to bring like a suit jacket, you know, into something like that. And I'm not going to wear like white pants. Typically, you know, with the kids and the grubby fingers, I'm not going to wear, you know, nice things around them. So,
Well, I mean, maybe you never know. Maybe
True.
as the kids get older, we could definitely get a little
as
bit
they
more
get older,
fancy.
yeah.
But I think, you know, we've also evolved in our business. And I think that's kind of cool to see as well. Like if you were to go back and look at some of the photos that we've done in the past, you know, it's been a little bit more casual, and it's been a little bit more like I've always kind of gone all out with like hair and makeup and stuff. But I feel like from, you know, where we started, it was a true representation of who we were and what people could see in us. And I think as we've grown and as we've evolved and as we've, you know, expanded on our business, it's like our brand messaging has to change a little bit in the sense, and the photos need to change with it, right? Like you can't have a photo from like 5 years ago that represents you now because you've evolved and you've changed and your portfolio has grown and things like that. So
That's what I was going at before, is that you need to keep it up to date, but it's also nice to just have fresh content to be able to put online, right? I feel like as photographers, a lot of us like to show what we capture all the time. We capture, and we seldom put ourselves in a post or talk about ourselves. But I think it's really important to do that. I know that we've had this rule at some point where in the top 9 squares of your Instagram, you should be at least one like personal post. We're not always doing that, but I think it's important to do that just because you can talk about yourself, right? Like your followers. And that's the thing with social media is you never know who's reading it, who's looking at it.
but they are.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have people in person come to me and they're like, oh, I saw this and I saw that. Like, just comment, like it, do something. So I know that you're doing it. You're not just like creepy, like lurking around and just watching it.
But people are going to do that.
People do.
Yeah, hundreds of people.
And you never know. So it's nice that people can connect with you in that way, even though they may not reciprocate something. But people are watching, and it's important to show some of yourself. Like you said, once you've built that fan base or that following that like you for who you are, then you can charge a premium because they're not going to go anywhere else, because even though they might love a photo of another photographer, that photographer is not you.
Exactly. And the person that they feel most comfortable with and that they trust and they know and they like is you, right? And I think that's so important to be able to show. And it's something that I feel like we've done a good job at over the years. Like no matter what, we've always had, I would say, a photo session done each year with us.
Well, it's nice for the kids, right? To like see them year over year and see them grow. So
I think that there's so much value as a business owner, like you said, to post it on social, to be able to share more about you. It's great for the website. It's great for the About Us. It's great too, like if you're doing any kind of like promotions or like, you know, through emails and stuff, it's nice to like, we do a newsletter. So that's another great place to share like a photo of yourselves in there, right? Because sometimes people like, they know who you are or they met you somewhere, but they don't necessarily like remember like who the hell Grey Loft Studio is, right? But if they see a photo of us and they go, oh yeah. Because if they just see like our names, Grey Loft Studio, like, but then they see a photo and they go, okay, yeah, I know who you are. Like it happens to us all the time where we'll walk in somewhere and I can tell people know who we are, but like
But they don't know who.
But like they know us from social media,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whereas, so I don't know them, but they know
It's
who
called
we
being
are.
famous. Yeah.
No, we're not. I don't say we're famous,
I'm
but
just kidding.
the idea is that like they know who we are because we put our faces out there, right?
Yeah.
And
I
that's,
mean, with the podcast is huge, right? Like everyone's just watching us all the time. Like every week we come out with a podcast of half an hour to an hour of us rambling on.
it's mostly you rambling, but
Yeah, you say some smart things and then I just summarize it.
and then
And then I delete my part in post.
it's just basically me talking to myself and you laughing.
Yeah. It's Bethany, Luke, Bethany. But yeah, branding. But it's not just the photos as well. It's like the words that you put, right? Talking about like, I like hot sauce and you like Jillian Harris or is that changing a little bit? I feel like you're more on the Tay era, you know, that's what
I'm in my Tay-Tay era.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at you all Swiftied out here. I mean, the thing is like Jillian Harris I've met in person, so I don't think I will ever, not be a Jilly fan. But
True.
yeah, I mean, I do like Taylor Swift quite a bit. So, if anybody doesn't know that about me, I should probably add that to the website.
Right.
But I find what's really interesting too is how much prep we do for these brand photos. I don't think people understand how much goes into this in terms of like, even today we brought props, right? Like we had our cameras, we brought our laptop, our phones, champagne glasses, outfits. We had to
A change of outfit.
we added like blazers or sweaters and things like that, even right down to like coordinating with each other.
And then we went somewhere that like rented a studio, had a photographer, a stylist came. Mm-hmm. So there's a whole bunch.
And then the other part as well is just like all the other stuff, like we did waxing and haircuts and all of that sort of stuff. So just like a fresh, making sure that everything's good. Like I even did like face masks and stuff like that to make sure that my skin was looking really good for today. And, trying to go that extra mile by I didn't have my makeup done professionally today, but I've been working really hard on doing it myself. And it was kind of nice when I walked in that they asked me who did my makeup because they thought somebody professional did it. So I felt pretty good about that. But the idea is that, I've always been an advocate to get professional makeup done. Hair, to me, this is what my hair is going to look like. So I don't really want it to be obviously I won't look like this on a wedding day, but my hair is pretty much going to be the same. It's going to be curly or kind of like straight or wavy. And that's, or it's up if it's like really, really hot. I mean, I've had my hair done, at the Christmas party that we went to in the fall last year. I went and had my hair professionally done and I really liked it. It looked really cute. And I had it kind of half up, half down with like a little curly bun, bow in my hair.
Yeah.
And, I love doing that kind of stuff too. And I think because this was like a mini session as well, we didn't do like a full branding session. If I was going to do a full branding, I'd definitely get my hair done. I definitely get have my makeup professionally done. And you know what I mean? But this was such a small little teaser update kind of thing, right?
Okay. So it was a 15-minute session. We drove 40 minutes both ways to get there. We went shopping for a couple hours yesterday, right? And then we woke up at 8 a.m. today.
I was up at 6.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8, whatever. That's just the numbers. But it was for noon, and we spent pretty much the whole morning getting ready, of packing stuff and bringing, and then researching poses that we wanted to do, and
steaming our clothes.
Yeah, steaming, ironing. So yeah, for 15 minutes, we definitely went a little all out. But I think we're a little biased because we know what's going to look good on camera, and the effort does show. Mm-hmm. So don't take it lightly if you're going to get photos and videos done. Have a good understanding, especially if you are hiring somebody for a limited amount of time. It doesn't have to be as limited as ours, but even if you have an hour, you want to make the most of it, right? And you even can go as far as to start organize your poses or like the things you want to do from like beginning to end so that there's kind of a flow to the day, right? Because a lot of people get stuck with what am I going to do next? Like battling with ideas is typically what takes like the longest amount of time when you're at these things.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but the photographer that did our photos today, she had like an iPad with all of our inspiration that was running, which I thought was really cool as well. And like, obviously, I haven't worked in that studio before. We've never, I don't know. I mean, we've been in modern studio, but we, what I really liked is that, you know, we could move the furniture around.
Yeah.
It was very much a more elevated style too, I find, in that studio, right? Like it definitely gave like a more luxurious vibe, I would say, as well. So that not only what you're wearing and like what you're dressed as, but the location of the photos, I think also needs to match the vibe that you're going for, right?
True.
So if you don't have a space where you can have photos done like that, like in your home or at whatever, like, you know, this is why I think this location in particular with this photographer, I've been following her for a while and just really loved everything that she's been putting out. I just felt like it really was a good fit for us too,
It was,
right?
yeah.
Everything, like I walked in, it was like, this is perfect. Like this, like it's not going to be hard to put any of these on our website.
It's mostly white. Yeah, we're good.
No, but it's just everything,
great.
everything just like blended well. Our outfits matched really well with the space too. And so I think like you have to consider all of that as well,
True.
right? Like you could have the best photographer, but if you don't have a really nice location, then it's kind of pointless, right?
Yeah. What do you think about doing like outdoor branding stuff?
I think so, but I think, you know,
There's a little bit more risk though with like if it's too windy or if it's like overcast and sunny.
Or it's raining or whatever,
Yeah,
right? Like
true,
you're playing with that
true.
kind of stuff. I mean, we've definitely gone and done photos before and it's been raining and outside. And so like it kind of meant that like it wasn't very bright, I guess I would say.
I wonder how it would have changed the studio today if it wasn't sunny as it was.
Or if the sun was in a different side. Like I wonder if she
Like
knows,
later in the afternoon or like
maybe
early
in the morning
day.
it might be, you know, really bright, like direct
Interesting.
sun in there. But who knows?
It all plays a part. Huh? Like attention to details. That's what it's about.
So, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed the session today. I really enjoy every session that we've ever done. We've hired quite a few different local photographers, and I really like doing that too. Like we've done stuff where it's been like an exchange of service. So like we've done photos for somebody, and they've done, you know, exchange that way,
When
and
you
that
start
works
out,
well.
that's probably one of the best ways is just hook up with other photographers and just like I shoot you, you shoot me, and
Yeah,
that's
here's
easy
my
peasy.
memory card, and
Exactly. You don't even have to let them edit it. They can just, you know, swap memory cards and you can just edit your own photos
yeah,
afterwards.
we've done that lots of times, and that works out really, really well for us.
Yeah, it's a good strat.
And then, but this is like, it's more focused, right? Like when you're paying someone, you're going to get more of what you're actually like looking for, right? Because you're paying them for a service.
And
right?
especially if like they're known for brand type images, then they're going to have a bit more experience and be able to maybe pose you and give you some direction in that sense, right?
And I felt like we're really good at posing ourselves.
know,
so I
right?
feel like it's unfair. And
I almost felt like
we could
were
have done
doing-
more.
yeah,
I felt like we could have done more, but
yeah, I think so too.
it's just because we're so fast, you know, like I could have run through that whole list in like 5 minutes, I'm sure. But I like that they were adding like different elements to it. They were trying to get creative too. So they,
Well, that was cool. Like, they pull up your sleeves. Like, I wouldn't have guessed or thought of pulling up the sleeves and stuff.
yeah, I mean, there's all these little tricks of the trade, right? Like when you're an expert in something, it's kind of like us, like, oh, well, we should probably bustle the dress while you're going around a cocktail hour.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't know that unless you've like seen a bride struggling 15 different times to know that you should probably
Or like,
just do
hey,
that.
this is a perfect time before we start the next speech. Like, house start clearing some plates. We're gonna take them outside for sunset and blah blah blah. You know how it is.
Exactly, right? It all comes with experience. And it was so funny because she also does weddings, but she's like, oh,
That's not her thing.
It's not her thing, right? And so, and I wouldn't have known that, right? I thought for sure she kind of loved both, but I can see her heart is definitely in the brand. And I see why. It's really cool. You get to be really creative. It's very different each time. You're working with all kinds of people. And then whatever you're putting out, same thing with like what our business is kind of the people that you attract too, right? So I was thoroughly impressed with everything. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more. I think I realize now after today that I think we probably need to consider putting more time into this. Like I know we've always done it, but I think we need to continue to do more where it's just me and you. And I'm not saying we're not going to do ones with the kids. We will, but the idea is maybe we just, we keep it a little more casual. We just do like a little mini session with the kids and then go for a full branding session for just me and you.
It kind of just gave me like a taste. And
I know.
I felt like we had just gotten into the groove and like
I
wanted to do
more.
it. And it's like, time's up. And we're like,
I know. I wanted more.
next time.
It's okay. I already told her, I was like,
how much do you think, how much time do you think we would have needed to like do a proper one? Like an hour?
I was thinking an hour and a half. I was actually just thinking that in my head, like how I think an hour would be good. Like we could get a lot done in an hour, but I think with an hour and a half, we would have more time to be creative. We would have more time to just have fun and like be ourselves. Like, and I would add a video element to it in that time as well. So like maybe a little interview or a little talking to the camera or something like that.
Would you think maybe even multiple of the studio spaces, like use different rooms? Because I think like after 20 minutes, 30 minutes in one room, I feel like you've used it.
Yeah, but I think like there's so much more you could do in that room, right? Like with the couch, with the desk, with the chairs, and like move the desk in front of the fireplace. Like there's so many, like you could make it look so different in so many different ways, or just like sitting on the floor, or like, But I think it'd be really cool to do something in that space or like the other space as well. But like add some video elements too. That's what I would want to do to it.
Yeah, and add like a full suit. Like I think I would have gone like full suit for one. And then a little bit more cash like I did today. And then even like a jeans and t-shirt or jeans and polo or something like, because it takes time to like change outfits as well. Right. So I think. And then,
and just kind of maybe, like I said, if I was doing full hair and stuff, I might even have had somebody like switch my hair, like have it up and then, or have it down and then have her do like a half up or something real quick.
Oh, true.
Like you can do that kind of stuff too in that timing. Right. Yeah. So overall, I really enjoyed having photos done with you today. So thank you.
It was cute.
It's cute. Doing branding is so important, and I hope that you'll consider doing it. And, obviously we really love the photographer that we worked with today, and we'll put her information in the post. But, if you want some branding, we can also help you with that. So if you're local and you'd like to have some branding photos done, we can definitely help with that, whether you want to use our studio. It's not as nice as Sky's studio, but, maybe we'll get some inspiration from them and try and spruce up our place a little bit. But I really think that everybody should be doing something, not just a headshot, like headshot is not a brand, it's not gonna make you seem like approachable and get people to really get to know you or like get a feel for you as a person, right?
It has to like really portray your personality, right? And like who you are. And I thought we were like being really silly today, and that's definitely who we are. And then we incorporated our cameras and
I think that's like one of the first times. We don't really usually have our cameras in a lot of photos.
Well, I think this is the first time, just not at a wedding, that I was actually in a photo with my gimbal, right? And that was kind of fun. But I liked the different, we were staged like away from each other, one in the background, one in the foreground, and just like using tables and as props and stuff. And it's going to be fun. And like, I like having just a nice big storage of like photos of ourselves, because I feel like even at a wedding day, we're photographers and we don't take like the nicest photos of each other.
Well, it's also like
BTS,
we're not dressed up properly.
That's true. There is that too. So it gives you, when you are focused specifically on a branding session, you can make the effort to not be sweaty. You're taking photos.
But one last thing before we go is that, I think that branding it extends past just this session. And it's something that you have to actually plan for. And that's something that we're doing this year is like, for instance, we're trying to have a photo of us with a lot of our couples this year. And because we know that that's really important. And then another one is trying to get photos of what we love doing at weddings. You know, like we love to be on the dance floor with our couples. We love doing detail photos and, you know, capturing like authentic moments and stuff like that. So for us, it's making sure that we're also documenting us doing that so that we can show that to our future couples as well. So it's branding extends more than just like, hey, we're gonna have a photo shoot and, you know, we like
here's my face.
And here's my face and I like champagne and you like hot sauce. You know, like it's not just, hey, like look at me. It's trying to bring everything together and encompass all of that into one thing and try to give somebody a really good understanding of who you are.
Looking back at me, turning heads with their flash. Wedding photographers capturing love in a flash. Taking shots like paparazzi, they're a dynamic duo. Posing couples like models on their love they bestow. Shooting weddings, they got the perfect frame. Look behind the lens while Bethany brings the flame. Capturing every moment, they never miss a beat. Freezing time, making memories that are oh so sweet.